might see our light shining and come running this way. Heavenly Father, I ask you to bless this church, this pastor, and band and members. Heavenly Father, help us to be the church that you have us to be. That you may get all the glory and all the praise and all the honor, Heavenly Father. That you may be glorified, Heavenly Father, with our words. Heavenly Father, bless everybody that's here and bless the ones on their way, Heavenly Father. We pray for travel grace, we pray for travel mercy. Heavenly Father, we ask you to bless these services today. Help it be to the upbuilding of your kingdom, Heavenly Father. Bless everybody who won't be here and won't your desire, but can't get here, Heavenly Father. These and all bless you out to your son, you say we pray. Amen. Scripture reading coming from Romans, the 12th chapter, verses 9 through 15. Let love be genuine. Hate what is evil. Hold fast to what is good. Love one another with mutual affection. Outdo one another, showing honor. So, rejoice in hope. Be patient in
in a place where some, the Bible. That we need to lead our house as men. But if we're not leading as men, who does it fall on? It falls on the woman. So I know that, when anytime they honor a man, they say behind every great man there's a great woman, but it needs to be godly. Some women lead just by, oh, I'm a single mother and my mama was single, I can do it on my own. Yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but let's talk about the order. Let's talk about order. So I ain't gonna get in that because I see some of these women already squinching their eyebrows at me. But but we are gonna bring everything back to biblical times. So those that are tuning in, we're on Judges 4, 1 through 24, and then Judges 4 through 10, 14, 21, and the 22nd verse. If I could get a reader for the key verse. And it said, at that time, Deborah, a prophet, wife, Labrador, and judging Israel, she used to sit upon a palm, and Deborah between Raymond and Bethel in the hill country of Ephesus, and Israelites came upon for judgment. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if I see a woman sitting up under a tree, and my life and whatever she say is going to happen, I ain't too comfortable going over there. Because when you done something, especially us men folks, Lord, in our marriages, we know probably done forgot to cut the grass or forgot to take the trash out. We slow to come in the house. we do like what we call a temperature check. Hey, baby, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. That's the worst thing a woman can say sometimes. And then when they get that, you good? When they hit that, we don't know what direction y'all finna come from. So we're very skeptical about our next move. But in this time, God had gave Deborah this position to pretty much set upon his works from her standpoint. So we're going to get into that and see what her role was and what all titles did she carry. So can I get a reader for the intro?
Say the book of Judges the book of Exodus. All right, come on, let me get it. The book of Exodus tells the story of the Israelites' deliverance from the bondage and oppression of Egypt. The narrative concentrates on the leadership of Moses, who, although raised in the courts of Egypt, still identified with his own people. During his self-exile, God called Moses through the miracle of the burning bush. While reluctant to accept the call at first, he became the greatest prophet of Israel and its lawgiver. His story began with his mother, who, seeing her beautiful boy and without consulting anyone else, decided to defy the murderous ethics of the Pharaoh and save her baby first in her own house and then in the river. Later, the daughter of Pharaoh also ignored the same ethic and gave orders to save the baby in the basket. Finally, Miriam, Moses' sister, used her critical thinking skills to figure out how to get the baby care, running to get his own mother as a wet nurse for the princess. He thus spent his young life among his people, with his mother teaching him who he was. Moses was the first judge of Israel, yet his very existence had been dependent on the leadership of women working inside and outside of the home. Women thinking and taking action. If it wasn't for the women, say Cheryl Townsend, Giles, like they say, where would the black church be? They say more confident in women's leadership would make a difference in our society and in our world.
So pretty much he's saying he learned a lot of stuff from his mother. I learned some stuff from my mother as well, how to cook, wash clothes, wash dishes. But it's something from the father that was necessary. So here's when, and our pastor gives us a great analogy all the time. If God is the father, the man, what is the church? It's the mother. So you can learn a lot of stuff from the church, which is the mother, but it's something you got to have from the father. Don't miss that now. Don't miss that. See, we ain't talking about co-parenting. Co-parenting is you got one parent over here and one parent over there. We're talking about parenting as in one. So what we cannot do is overlook the father. So let's bring it in the real world. You got some mothers that's bitter with the father and won't let the child have nothing to do with the father. So if you are a bitter Christian, you're teaching your child not to have a relationship with the father. Y'all better talk to me this morning. So if you ain't got yourself together because you're not complete, what do you expect that child to have? So no matter how you may feel about the father, his presence, my God, is necessary. His word is necessary. His position is necessary. Now, does that discredit the mother? No, it does not. You got a lot of people that say this, and I don't know why. I believe in God, I just don't go to church. Somebody explain that to me, please. It's an excuse. Oh, I believe in a higher power, but I don't go to church. And then you got people that they are bold. Well, you ain't got to go to church to go to heaven. Help me, somebody. So if you counsel out the father, what else are you cutting out? Because here's what every child of us here, we didn't get here just by a mother alone. It took a mother and a father. Am I right? So if it took 2 then, why don't it take 2 now? So yes, both father and mother both play a very important role. Please don't think I'm discrediting the mother, but both parts have to work together. And we can't say we Christians and do one part and not acknowledge the other. So imagine the damage that those children go through when you say you can't talk to your dad, or don't you speak to your dad, or your dad ain't no good. But let's bring it spiritual. Oh, I go to church, but I ain't got no reason to have no bills. God said he was going to take care of me, but are you doing your part? Are you teaching that child in times of need to trust God? And we're going to get into that, but it also said, what would the church be? Well, at some churches, you got more women in the church than men. And some of the men in the church are just in the church. But if we're not, as men, taking our rightful place as leaders, then it falls on the woman. So we got a lot of people that say, well, I ain't seen God work. Well, if you come to church, to the mother, you get nurtured here. The mother is a nurturer. It feeds you. She fed us. If we get fed here. But at night, when somebody breaking in the house, the father is the protector. And this is something that we have to understand and be mindful of. Out of everything that we go through, you still need a protector. Now, and I know y'all ain't gonna amen on this. If you land in the bed, you and your husband, and somebody break in and you gotta get up and go, you probably gonna let that man have it when you get back in that room. I don't think it's gonna be a good conversation when she come back in the room. Because the mother, the children are expecting the father, the man, to be the protector. But spiritually, we don't want God to be our protector. Daddy say some stuff you don't like, God gonna tell you some stuff you don't like. Daddy can tell you to do something, you're gonna try to create your own path. And when it fails, where you go? Everybody in here can go back to their parents and say, I shoulda listened. Shoulda listened. So in this lesson, Barrett, he's gonna understand that I shoulda listened. Even though it was successful, I wasn't successful. Can I get we're going over to the first outline. Deborah, a leader raised by God. Let me get a reader for the first 3 verses.
And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidoth, she judged Israel at that time, and she dwelled under the palm tree in Deborah between Ramah and Bethel in Mount Ephraim. And the children of Israel came up to her for judgment, and she sent and called Barak and the son of Abinah out of Kadesh and said unto him, have not the Lord God of Israel commanded, saying, go and draw towards near Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of children of Nephilah and of the children of Zebulun.
All right, I'm gonna start right there. So you have this lady, Deborah, that has the authority to judge. Who gave it to her? So God gave it to her, but people still didn't trust her judgment completely, because the Israelites they'll do good, then they'll do bad. They'll go back for judgment. They'll do good, then they get oppressed. Then they do bad. So like I said, you got a woman up there, and most people are used to seeing men in leadership, and you know us. Who she thinks she is? Who she thinks she is to judge me? Y'all know how we do. But we're not understanding. We're looking at the person, but we're not looking at who sent her, who gave her the authority. So we will get mad when God put people that you least expect in your life to have a speaking over your life, and we get so mad because it ain't what we find. Oh, she can't tell me what to do. Because I guarantee you, somebody looked at that tree tomorrow, she ain't right herself. She ain't got no business up there. Come on, y'all know how we do. Especially when it ain't us, especially when we feel like we should be up there. Uh-oh. Let somebody in a position tell you what to do and you feel like you should have had that position. You're gonna have some mad folk. So she was given judgment on what? She was a prophet and she was a wife. So what is she doing wrong? Yeah, is she doing anything wrong?
No, she's not doing or saying anything wrong, because if the truth be told, she was a very respected woman, great confidence that the people came to her and they really received what she said. Often you can be told the right thing to do, but you still go and do the wrong thing. And it's not a lack of confidence in the person that gave you directions. It's just you not doing what you're supposed to do. But Deborah was a prophetess, as we say, raised by God, and she told them truth. And so at this time, I would say I see nothing wrong that she was doing.
Right. So let me paint it out. So when dad is at work and mama at the house, who's in charge of that house? Mama there, right? And she's giving out the same orders as if father would. God is going to prepare a place. The church is the mother. Don't we come here to learn what to do? And what does mama say when we don't get it right? Wait till your daddy, oh, good God Almighty. Wait till your daddy get home. So if you think you getting away with all you doing right now, wait till daddy come home. And you're going to see you ain't getting away with nothing. But we smart. Let's go back and forth. While daddy gone, we know we can push mama a little bit. See, we ain't got to come to church all the time. Oh, man, I can get away from church. Can't get away from daddy. You can't get away from daddy. So again, mama is nurturing, teaching, and leading. And when she done all she can do, she turns you over to daddy. Now, I can take a whooping from my mama all day. But my daddy, no ma'am. I can't do it. And it's the same thing spiritually. We get upset with mama, the church, and get mad when mama follows the same rules that daddy have said before us. Why? Why is that? So she's doing her job, like Pastor said, she's doing nothing wrong because she was given that authority. And she was well respected. And when it's well respected, just like any great married couple or even parenting, if mama say something, that means daddy said it. And if daddy said something, that means mama said it. So they're on the same page. But see, we smart. When kids know mom and daddy ain't on the same page, they play both sides. So you can come play in the church. Oh, I know I'm saying, and then you go out there slipping and tripping. But guess what? Daddy see you. Daddy see you. I told my mama several times, I got football practice. I get in the car, I'm way in Valdez somewhere. Roll right past my daddy. He followed me all the way home. I ain't drive for about 2 months. Not that he wouldn't let me, I couldn't. Read between the lines, I couldn't. Daddy saw me. Spiritually, it's the same way. Spiritually, it's the same way. So she's giving out, she's in a position to pass out the judgment over them because she's respected. And they know that if she's saying it, then where did it come from? It come from him. It also said that she went to Barrett and gave him strict orders. This is what you need to do, and this is where you need to go. When God says something, why do we deteriorate from it? We can pray for something, we can fast for something, and when God says it, and it ain't what we want to hear, why do we run from it? Then what you pray for it for if you really didn't want him to fix it? What did you pray for it for if you didn't want to answer? Think about it. So she's giving him strict orders what to do. And said, God saying, go and draw toward the mountain of Tabor and take 10,000 men and children. When you doing meant to go so far and fall off. I had somebody tell me the other day, well, I'm sorry you lost the election. I said, honestly, I didn't lose. I said, because my job was just to complete the task. It wasn't to win. Because that went in God's plan. But through that process, I seen who was with me. I seen who was faithful to me. I seen who was committed to me. That was the victory. Because I seen some things I wanted to see, and I seen some things I didn't want to see. But I also seen everything I needed to see. So this is the same thing. Any questions for verses 4, 5, and 6? All right. Read it for 7 through 10.
And I will draw unto thee to the river Kishon Sisera, the captain of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his multitude, and I will deliver him into thy hand. And Barak said unto her, if thou wilt go with me, then I will go. But if thou wilt not go with me, then I will not go. And she said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou takest shall not be for thine honor, for the Lord shall sell Sisera unto the hand of a woman. And Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh. And Barak called Zebulun and Naphtali, Lord, these words, to Kadesh. And he went up with 10,000 men in his feet, and Deborah went up with him.
So who was disobedient? Now, Deborah told Barak that this is what God said. Take 10,000 men up to the mountain of Tabor. God didn't say nothing about her going. So what he did was, like we say, him say, I ain't going unless you go. That ain't what God said to do. God has already promised the victory to him. Ain't it strange how God can already promise you victory and we still want to go it our own way? So if God told, hey, if you go, I'm going to deliver the victory to you. All you got to do is go and take 10,000 men. He didn't want to do that. Where's his faith? Is where? His faith was in Deborah. So God sent Deborah to deliver the message, but you saying you ain't going to go unless Deborah go with you? Let's back up now. God sent Deborah. Now, you trust everything that Deborah said, but you question what God said? So we sit here, we pray, we moan, and we cry, oh, God, help me, help me, help me. Well, this is what you need to do. Well, no, I ain't going to do it till Sister Jones do it. How that work? So God promised the victory. Now, you can tell people all day, hey, it's a girl in Dublin. She can do your taxes. She can get you the maximum out. We'll go with no question. Circle K got 30 cents off of gas. That line wrap all the way around the new bank. All day long. But then when God says something that he already promised you, we question it. The whole Bible is the promise. The whole entire Bible is the promise. And he's telling you, hey, you're going to have some good days, you can have some bad days, but I will never leave you nor forsake you. And we still question God when time of storm. Let hard time hit. We try everything else but him. You get sick, you try Tylenol, Advil, Motrin, try everything but him. Children act up, you want to send them off, you want to beat them, you try everything but him and wonder why we ain't getting no results. We try everything but him. So Barrett, he shows lack of faith, but Deborah knew that. Because she said, notwithstanding, she's telling her, hey, this ain't how it's supposed to go. This is not how this situation was go, but I'm going to go. Go ahead, Pastor.
I think we need to pay attention as well is we have a lot of people say the Lord told them this.
That's right.
The Lord told them that. Right? So you either prophesizing, you prophet lying, but you got to see if it come to pass, right?
You're right.
But here in this situation, you got to pay attention to how Deborah approached him. which should have gave him confirmation she was really hearing from the Lord. Because
That's right.
the Lord didn't just send her to tell him that to do these things. She said, did not your daddy, since you talking mama and daddy,
That's right.
did not your daddy tell you to do
Already.
X, Y, Z? So right then, he got to know he heard from God.
That's right.
See, he already had heard from God. God had already given him instructions what to do. She come behind it with a word. He hadn't told her what God told him to do.
That's right.
So here come mama saying, did your daddy not tell you?
Mm-hmm.
Now right then, ding, 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 sure did. Yeah, you got to know she heard from daddy too.
That's right.
Because she told him the exact same thing. Well, a lot of us like this is that daddy may tell us to do something, but what comfort it is to have mama right there.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes our mothers, these mothers, they hinder and enable children to do things the right way, because if they're there, they're going to try to take the place of Dad already got you covered. He told you to go.
That's right.
But if you bring somebody on, come here, Abraham, you brought Lot, didn't have to. God
Brought
didn't
it.
tell you to.
Brought it.
Now you got to deal with it. So a lot of times you got to know that you're hearing from God.
Mm-hmm.
And God will give you confirmation through some. Stop letting everybody run up to you and say, the Lord told me to tell you. Huh? Stop that. He talked to me too.
That's right.
And if you give me confirmation, then that's good. But I'm sitting there looking at you, well, he ain't told me that. So just be careful. Make sure we see that she posed that as a question to him.
That's right.
Did not God tell you to do X? So then he decided, even though God said, I
Still need you to go.
Still need you to go. That's where we mess up at. Because God done told a lot of us to do a lot of things.
That's right.
But we don't want to go. But we'll sing the song. I go if I have to go by myself. But we don't be meaning that. Okay.
You're definitely right about that. We're big and bold when you got a crowd. But see, what people still didn't realize, he was taking 10,000 people with him. And out of all them people that went, he still wanted Deborah to go. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Dick.
just like what Pastor was saying when I was studying the lesson as well, we just talked about faith. Then I was looking at failure, somebody to blame it on, which God had spoke to him, had spoke to Deborah as well, but he wanted her to go because I was saying maybe he had a lack of faith, so if he lose the battle, he would have had somebody to blame it on.
That's right. That's right. We get to a point, you ever see these kids, they're so big and bold when the light's on. They can run around the house and tap stuff, but you turn them lights off, they scared. And they want mama or daddy to come get them. Well, as long as everything bright, we run around and do whatever we want to do. But when things start to get dark, and that wind get to blowing, and that rain get to falling, now we want to listen to mama. Now we want to listen to daddy. I still ain't figured out how light to make the light bill go up. My grandma, sit down, you making my light bill go. I ain't figured that out yet. But guess what? You sat down somewhere. You better get off that phone. You better sit down while the Lord do his work. I ain't figured it out yet, Mama Sneak. I haven't. But I sat down somewhere. Because now, when Helena came through, I told my girls, sit down somewhere. So when things get rough in your life, and you done heard the word of your mama and your daddy, sit down somewhere. So she posed it as a question like Pastor said. So therefore, it's like you already know what God told you. Some of us already know something God been telling us to do, and we hard-headed and ain't done it yet. God already done told you to change directions. He already done told you to change circles, and we won't do it. Because we are so afraid of stepping out by ourselves because we don't want to be talked about. But yet, 10,000 people still were going with him. So he would tell them, I ain't worried about y'all. I'm worried about this one. We cannot see the blessing that God got for us because we worried about one person. God can bless you all the way around, but if one person don't give you praise like you think you deserve, your whole day messed up. Everybody can say, oh, the tater salad good, but if pastor say the tater salad wasn't good, you mad. 55 other people done said it was good. But too bad, one person didn't say something. You mad at everybody. But y'all leave me alone then, Mom. So he was disobedient. He had lack of faith. He did not trust. He didn't even trust what was told to him. What does it say about his relationship with God? We put more faith in man than we do God. That sent man. We have pastors and preachers can tell you directly the same thing the Bible say. You mad with their pastor. They don't say nothing to God. Make it make sense. Any questions from 4 through 10?
I also want to say, pay attention to the fact that God positioned, his directions was to position him for success. He told him to go into the mount, so that means he was up high.
That's right.
And he said, I will draw. This is God saying, you do what I say, and I will draw them out or lure them out into an area that's below you that will put you in a prime position to destroy them. Because it's bombs generally fly from up high. Mm-hmm. They drop bombs out of planes, you know. And so if the enemy is down here and God has already positioned you up there, you got the upper hand on them.
That's right.
And so, but it's God's doing. Like he said, I will draw them out. I will put them in a prime position for you to take them out. But again, he didn't have the confidence in God without Deborah. Didn't say he didn't do it, but he just wanted to take somebody along. And come on, let's be real. If y'all get to take somebody along, you're going to take somebody along.
Yeah.
But some things are just for you to do, and she told them why. So we can't miss that she told them that if I go, you ain't going to get the credit.
You ain't going to get no credit.
You know? And I tell y'all a lot of times, like, it seems like if Pastor First Lady not doing it, ain't nobody doing it. And I be like, what? All y'all represent better together. It shouldn't just be, you know, my face. I shouldn't have to be there for it to go through. So we got to be willing to step out on faith with God, trust God, and and me and God, we got this. We can do it, and you'll reap the benefits of it because a lot of times, the pastor there, I get all of the talk. You need to have that conversation with people. Mm-hmm. So you got to be willing to go by yourself and do it in order to. So that's what she was telling him, that if I go, you ain't gonna get the credit. But she didn't tell you exactly who got the credit, but she was letting them know he wasn't gonna get the credit. Yeah. But let me tell y'all, it wasn't her.
It wasn't her. No, it was not.
Okay.
So, like I said, God has promised a victory, and he has positioned him in a win-win situation. And he still did not trust. Now, like I said, when you're up high, you can look down, you can see everything. Now, yes, they went up. That was basically the easy part. They went up because they were not attacked. But now I can look down. Sometimes when you're fighting your enemy, you can't be on the same level. You cannot be on the same level. You always tell people, I ain't gonna stoop to your level. Then elevate yourself. Because one thing I learned, everything can't survive in high altitude. And so if you are a true believer in God and you elevate yourself, the things that ain't made to go that high, they can't bother you when you're there. But also pay attention to this too. They had to come back down. See, you got a lot of people on their high horse that feel like they're untouchable. But what goes up, eventually it's going to come back down. So now if you see your enemy coming, and I've been guaranteed the victory, I'm coming down full force. If I know I'm going to win, come on, we all done been to cookout, we playing spades. You got the big joker, little joker, deuce, diamond, deuce, spade, and ace. Are you ready to hit spades? You waiting on that first spade to hit the table because you finna go in. You start standing up and staying wide because you ready to play. Because you know you going to win. But we don't have that same confidence when it comes to God. You got people that move the chair out the way because they know they finna reach way back here. That's why I'm playing Pastor and Buck right now. Right now. Because with them, I'm at a lose-lose. But with God, it's a win-win. So you're in a great position to win. God told you you're going to guarantee to win. And not only that, he fought with him. He fought with him. It never shows where Barrett threw the first punch. God will fight your battles. When you got God, it's already a win. It's already a win. If you go to the next page over, that second paragraph, the first line, it said, God's presence was not enough for Barrett. He wanted Deborah. Why wasn't God present enough? Why isn't the word of God enough for us? We want more. I need to know, why isn't God's presence enough? You can pray for something, he give you an answer. Why his answer ain't enough? You come to the altar, you give it to God, and you still got to go home and talk about the situation. What you come up here for? You can't say you came up here to tell God all your problems. He already knew. So why isn't his presence enough? So you mean to tell me I'm on the battlefield, I see God finna fight with me, but I still need Deborah to go with me? Who you got more faith in? Lord have mercy. He said God's presence wasn't enough for Barrett. He wanted Deborah by his side. Women leaders are often second guessed. Oh, Lord. Their authority may be questioned. Nevertheless, Deborah was ready. She was ready. She knew that ain't what God's assignment was, but yet still, she was ready. And some wives and women, they do that. They know, like, this might not turn out good, but I'm going to stand by my man. I'm going to stand by my husband. And they work through it together. He was also told that, but she warned Barrett that he would not get the credit for the God-assured victory. God-assured victory. How is it that God can tell you you're going to win, it's assured, and you don't get credit for it? What are we missing? Any questions from the first outline? Okay. Read it for the second section. God goes before the battle, verse 14.
And Deborah said unto Barak, Up, for this is the day in which the Lord hath delivered Sisera into thine hand. Is not the Lord gone out before thee? So Barak went down from Mount Tabor, and 10,000 men after him.
So now he's coming down, and God, he was against the army, and they had carriages and all this stuff. So if everybody were in, God drew them to them. They're on horses and carriages. Barak them on feet. Who has the advantage? I can't outrun no horse. Now, let's take it back. They on carriage, they probably got swords, they probably got spikes sticking out from it. So they're at a disadvantage the way it looks. That's what they had. But what did Barak have? He had God. So once they got to the bottom of that mountain, right there where the river is, horses can't run in the mud that fast. The carriages were too heavy because they were armored, so they started to sink. So everything they thought they prepared for, it ain't what they had, it's the place that they were fighting at. And this is where we have to understand this. People can have lies on you, they can have rumors on you, but if you get in the perfect position right here on your knees, they cannot beat you. Let them talk about your finances, let them talk about your family. As a little kid, don't talk about mom, we're gonna fight. Let them talk. But as long as you're in the right position, they can't beat you. They will not win. And that's all Barak had to do. He had to be in the right position. And everything else was taken care of. He was in the right position with the right teammate. The presence, yeah. Pastor asked, what's the right position? It's in the presence of God. But you got to think, it's the same presence that he didn't have faith in. So the paragraph above on 60, he said, we do not always understand God's timing or his method. If you have a relationship with God, you're not going to understand all his ways. He said, however, we are assured of success when we follow his leading of our Lord. We sing it all the time. I don't know how. I don't know when. I don't know how God gonna do it. But all I know is God's gonna make a way for me. He's gonna do it. He's gonna fix it. Victory. Why are you worried about how you win as long as you win? God tends to move in the background. God working stuff out in your favor right now that you don't know nothing about. God preparing a financial blessing for you, a spiritual blessing for you, a relationship blessing for you. Don't, let God handle that. All you got to do is just walk therein. But we don't want to do that. We want to be nosy. We want to rush God. But he's telling you, you're not even thankful for the blessings I'm giving you now.
So when we're assured of success, when we follow the leading of the Lord, what is that leading? What does that look like? Because this got a lot of people messed up in the world today about this leading thing. What does that look like?
Should be godly.
From who then does the leading come from that we got such a problem with today? So who did God speak to? Both of them. In today's lesson, who did he speak to?
Deborah.
Deborah and Barak, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the confirmation came through Deborah. Now, we have a problem sometimes, and this is where people confuse. A voice of God, hearing from God, and sharing directions from God as you receive them is not the same as pastoring. This leading that he's talking about, we follow the leading of the Lord, Barak followed the leading that Deborah confirmed came from the Lord. So now, not only do you got God speaking to him, he's speaking to her, and then when it gets to the him and hers, we have problems. As if the woman can't give you that direction. But that ain't pastoring. If they got the Spirit of God like you got the Spirit of God, they're going to hear from God too.
That's right.
That's why we as brothers and sisters, we should talk and communicate. You shouldn't hold nothing back from you that God has given you, male or female. Don't say it's not my responsibility to say something that the Lord told you to say. It is your responsibility. Mm-hmm. That may be what the confirmation somebody need to go ahead. But when people start to get a little word from God, prophetess is not a pastor.
That's right.
And we get confused in our roles, and then we'll start saying, everybody can do this. What? God know what he doing?
You're right about that.
You ain't going to rewrite the script, but he can use whoever he want to, but we get it all out of order because Deborah did her job, but at the end of the day, who did God give the assignment to?
Barry.
And that's all I'm saying. I just know, y'all need to know who he's talking about. When it's the leading of our Lord is that's God is speaking to whomever to push you into. You done heard it from him.
That's right.
You know, if you talking to him, he gonna give you your assignment, but somebody else gonna come behind you and give you confirmation. So, just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. We will log into our phones. You can log into your bank account from your phone, your Facebook, and you still have to give a confirmation before you get in. Ain't it crazy? You can pick up your phone and move your money that's in a bank somewhere else. But most of the time when you unlock your phone, it has to have a facial recognition. So how is it that we would put trust in the phone, our bank account, Social Security, all of this stuff, and have a facial recognition, but God don't know what you look like? You don't understand that, hey, who am I really? Who did you really create me to be? We got this image that we put on. We think we look good in the mirror, but that ain't what God looking at. God don't care about them lashes and extensions and that good haircut and the shirt and tie. He don't care about none of that. None of that. That look good to man. But what looks good and appealing to him? What does your obedience look like? What does your obedience look like right now? That last paragraph say, whether in the workplace, at home, or at church, we should trust that God knows what he is doing. God goes before us in battles, whether the battle is found. So now, he ain't going to take you to something if he ain't going to bring you through it. That's child abandonment, right? You got a lot of these people, they have these children, don't want nothing to do, and they just push them out there, and that's it. But I don't know one battle or one storm that God didn't lead me to, went through with me, and brought me out of. Don't we all got breath in our body? Even when you went to sleep last night, that was a battle, whether you know it or not. Because guess what? Somewhere, somebody didn't finish. Somebody did not get up this morning. Anytime you get in your car, drive from point A to point B, look how many car crashes we done had with deaths. So please understand that God is going to hold his word. You just got to hold on to your faith. Last outline, verses 21 and 22.
Then Jael, Heber's wife, took a nail of the tent and took a hammer in her hand and went softly unto him and smote the nail into his temple and fastened it into the ground, for he was fast asleep and weary, so he died. And behold, as Barak pursued Sisera, Jael came out to meet him and said unto him, Come, I will show thee the man whom thou seek. And when he came into her tent, behold, Sisera lay dead, and the nail was in his temples.
So who got the credit? Who got the credit? So now you're looking about Jael. Here's his wife. So now we're at the end of the battle. Sisera is realizing that I'm about to lose. The 900 that I had with me, they done sunk. My carriages ain't working. My horses can't move. So he runs. And Barak is chasing him, trying to get him. So what Sarah did, he trusted Jael and her husband, because they the ones that told him what they were. So now he ran to what he thought was a familiar place. Sometimes you get too comfortable with some of these friends, and they the ones that's going to put a nail in your head. You get too comfortable telling people all your business, all your secrets, and as soon as they get mad with you, everything that you told them, they are now finna use against you, and you wonder how everybody know your business, and you only told one person. And the first thing we want to say, I thought you were my friend. How many of y'all had friends in middle school that you're no longer friends now? How many of y'all had adult friends that a situation happened and you're no longer friends now? Christian friends. And you scared to go at them a certain way because you don't want them to tell all your secrets. You want to pick up the phone and give them everything that's on your mind. But you're afraid that they're going to pick up the phone and, well, since we ain't friends no more, let me tell her what she said about you. We all got that. We all got that. So anyway, here's Jael, another woman. She was working for God, and Barak didn't even know about it. So when he escaped to her tent, he asked for some water. She gave him some milk. Now, he was already tired. He been fighting. He been trying to escape. So she gave him some milk. When y'all want them children to go to bed, what y'all do? Give them some milk. Warm it up if you want to. Gonna put them right on to sleep. And she played the part. He went in her tent telling her what to do. Hey, put me over here. I'm tired. Give me some water. And she played her role until it was time to show up. God has people in place that you don't even know about that's working in your favor. So what she did was got them all comfortable, built trust with him, gave him some milk, and when he went to sleep, you know how we lay down? We lay our head to the side. Someone had that leg up, one leg out from up under the cover. You don't know if you hot or cold. As soon as he got comfortable, she put that nail on his head and drove it through his temple. What was Barak trying to do the whole time? was trying to kill him. But all Jill did was played her role. Barrett could have done the same thing. The victory is won, but Barrett didn't get no credit for him, even though he the one that got the message. What does that look like today? God will tell you what to do, and you won't move on it, and then somebody else do it and get the credit. How you feel at the end? People been telling you, you need to go up for supervisor. I don't want to deal with it. Then when somebody else get it, you mad. I started before she did. But why is it opposite in the church? People been in the church all this time. Somebody new come in and start working, you mad. You been here this whole time. Ample opportunity to work in the kitchen, sing in the choir, play the keyboard, whatever else. But when somebody else come in and start doing something, you mad? How long you been here? Your application been on this. So he was killed and the victory was won. So at what state of mind do you think Barrett was at right now? How do you think he feel? How do you think he feel right now knowing that God told him to do something, I was disobedient, I took who I wanted to take with me, and now somebody else will get the credit for what he was asked to do? This is not in the lesson. I'm asking Pastor as well. What was his reward after this battle if he would have been obedient? What reward have been? So, how many of us done went through lessons, did it our way, and wonder why we keep going through it? You have a good little bit of money, spend it on what you want to spend on, don't tithe, and wonder why you broke 2 months later. You keep choosing the same group of friends, keep getting in the same type of trouble, and keep wondering why you can't break the cycle. So here he is. He was very respected. He wanted Deborah. Deborah did her part. God's going to continue to use her because she delivered the message. But Barrett didn't follow through. But regardless of that, God showed you, hey, I'm going to do it again. He lured them to a position where they was going to lose, right? Didn't he do that with Moses? Didn't he split the Red Sea when everybody from the army got in? Didn't God close it and kill them all? God done this time and time again. God will let your enemies get close enough for you to see who they are, and then when you trust him, he'll get them out your way. But see, we try to protect our enemy. Well, I don't want nothing to happen to them. I don't want them to be mad at me. They ain't worried about you. We tiptoe on people's feelings that stump on ours. And now, am I saying don't be forgiving? I'm not saying that. You got to forgive. You got to forgive in order to move on. But be wise in your decisions. Any questions throughout the lesson? So it's not who the message come from, was it a godly message? So who in your life is a Deborah? Who in your life has, you know her from God? And so you're right. You do have to be careful when everybody run up to you and say, God told me to tell you. God said do this. God said do that. If you ain't got the confirmation, if you have not got confirmation and you've heard exactly what they're saying, you might need to check your role. Check your role. Any questions throughout the lesson? This time we'll turn it over to our youth department.
An indomitable woman, Judges chapter 4.
I have 1 adult and 7 youth and $30 in total.
Deborah trusted God to help lead his people.
Barak obeyed God and went into battle.
God promises victories and kept his promise.
Jael was brave enough to defeat the enemy.
God can use anyone who trusts and obeys him.
Let's give them all a hand of praise again. Why do y'all think this lesson is entitled Women in Leadership? Because men are generally hard-headed, stubborn, and God is simply saying he can use anybody that's willing to be obedient to him. So Deborah was obedient, and her obedience, she was being obedient, was a blessing to somebody else. By being obedient, she reminded Barak what he was supposed to be doing. And he went on into battle. He wasn't defying in that way. He really just robbed himself of the blessings of God to give him his cadoodles about being obedient. But, you know, you have to pay attention and not kick against what God does, because God can use whoever he wants to use. And you got to be careful how you treat people. Don't burn bridges, because Jaleel was part of an old relationship with the Kadesh side of things through Zipporah, Moses' wife or sister, anyway. They had a pre-existing relationship. And then when this Sisera guy come up into power, their clan is now dominating the Israelites and Jaleel and them people too. And so they're going along. How many of y'all been worked up under a supervisor or manager that y'all just couldn't stand, but just because you were getting your paycheck, you put up with it, right? But you said about when I get the chance, right? So that's what was in Jaleel's mind. Like, finally she got to the point where she hearing about these things, and now this guy that's been putting pressure on the Israelites and them, he now need her. And she meet him, and this is why you got to always be nice. She had hospitality, you know. And so when you hospitable, people will believe in you that you have their good. And everybody that's being hospitable to you ain't for your good. Some very people that's picking up the phone, calling you, inviting you, trying to talk to you, and they mad about one thing. They just trying to get close enough to you to kill your spirit. Y'all ain't saying nothing. But y'all entertaining. But you got to be watching. You got to be watching, because what they're going to do, they're going to lure you in. They're going to bait you in with whatever they tossing out there. And they're going to get you just to the point where they can kill your belief in something or somebody. That's what she did. She killed him. Now, was it necessary? Do she get the pass? Because she killed him, and that was part of God's plan. Do she get the pass? Y'all believe y'all believe Judas got the pass too? It was necessary for Judas to do what he did, but how many of us say Judas was wrong for betraying Jesus? This woman committed murder. It was just a part of the plan. He was going to die anyway, whether Barak did it. Y'all ain't saying nothing. but she took matters in her own hands. Now the question is, did God give her that direction? See, everything is not coming from God, but all things work together for the good. See? So sometimes it can be an enemy that God allows to get involved in a situation to bring it all the way to fruition. Why? Because the ones that said they was your allies and your friends and the faithful, they wouldn't step up. They wouldn't step up. So God used whoever to make it happen, because his ultimate plan shall be completed and fulfilled. But what we have to do is still be just and forgiving and understanding that God is in control at all times, and never doubt what he's able to do. So sin is sin, and he stands ready to forgive us. So we know that this woman could be forgiven. But that wasn't my question. My question was she right? Was she right in doing what she did? She took matters in her own hand and took a man's life. God had gave the assignment to Barak. He wasn't going to do it. So he said, Deborah told him, you're going to give credit to a woman. So that was God's word. And it happened the way God intended for it to happen. So we just got to be always on the constant lookout. You don't know how God going to work it out. You don't know who he going to work it out through. That's why you got to stay prayed up and then always seeking God's direction, because the devil is still going to and fro. He can still be sitting on your row and laughing